This is Scott Bach-Hansen, Vice President for Cardinal Basketball Officials Association and Director of the Steve Gordon Basketball Officials Camp. This video is the third of three. This is the final version of our three-person officiating positioning mechanics. And this video is going to focus on the lead position. There's a few things about the lead that we want to make sure that everybody conceptually understands first. Number one, in difference to the trail in the center, we want our lead to referee on their back foot. The trail in the center, we want them to referee on their front foot because we want them to stay engaged in rebounding plays, push-offs, those kind of things, as opposed to backing out to get down the court. The lead official we want on their back foot because we want them to have the play come to them. We want them to be patient. We want them to have a patient whistle. A lot of times there's contact that happens near the basket that the lead can get consumed by and overreact and have a whistle and go, oh, shoot, I can't believe I just hung a cheap foul on the player. Whereas if they refereed on their back foot, again, conceptually, we don't want you standing on one foot, but conceptually that you would be a little bit more patient. The second thing is we focus on what we call A to B to C. So A would be the starting position if the ball was on this side of the court. It would be out here by the O or the U in the word mount. The B position is where Brian is right now, and correctly so because the ball is coming on this side. There's really no matchups to referee over here, so he's in a closed down position now. And then the C position is rotating over. And when we rotate over, we want to rotate and when we get halfway through, we leave the matchup that we had, and we pick up the closest matchup that may give us a problem. And then we also want to make sure we get width. So we're going to basically go back to A over here. And what ends up happening in this play is I'll forward it through. We showed this play in the C positions as well. But you'll see that Brian starts going over to rotate from B to C. And now when he gets over here, he really needs to get wide because he sees this matchup here. And there's a double team over here, so our new trail, has got a double team here. But this matchup here should be the number one focus point for him. What ends up happening is White 15 puts an arm up by the neck area of 42 of the offense, and we don't have a foul from the lead. Thankfully, our trail / new C, Adam has a good look at it, comes in and gets the play because, again, this is a play that can escalate into something more. So a good get by Adam, but it would help if once you rotate over to get wide enough that you can get your angle. Remember, you want to get your angle regardless of where you are on the court, and when you rotate over, sometimes we end up stopping and officiating in a closed down position on the opposite side, and that doesn't necessarily always give us the right angle. This play here is a really good job by the lead official. This is Larry coming down here, of picking up the defender and officiating verticality. So as I go slow-mo through this, you'll notice that the defender jumps straight up, and there's a little bit of contact, but there's nothing that the defender did wrong. The contact is really coming, from the offensive player jumping into, because the defender goes from A to A as opposed to A to B on this kind of play. So you'll see that the defender, when he jumps, see where he's at right now, and when he leaves the floor, he actually goes backwards, so he's not going into the offensive player. The offensive player is going into him. Now, if there's contact, see how his arms are not all vertical? But if there's contact right here, then there would be a foul. However, there's no contact on the arms, and the offensive player throws up a prayer hoping to get a foul call. And, again, Larry does an excellent job in lead of being able to make sure that he sees the whole play, and we move forward from there. All right, so this is a play, and this is more of an advanced officiating play, but I want us to understand the term we call possession consequence. And on this play here, the lead official, Mike Preston, does a really good job of reading possession consequence. In normal circumstances, if there's a rebound and there's a slight hit on the arm, we prefer to stay away from those calls. We don't want to hang cheap ones on people. But what ends up happening also is if the rebounding player ends up losing possession as a result, then we're in a situation where we want to make sure that we don't penalize them by not calling a foul. So in this play here, you'll see that The rebound is gathered by the player in red right here, and you'll see the right arm get hit right there, which causes the ball to get knocked out, and as a result, white gets possession. Mike does a good job of reading this and has a foul. And again, not a lot of contact here, but it's possession consequence, and it's a nice job in refereeing that play as well. So this play here, this is really important for us as lead officials. We talk about refereeing on our back foot, seeing the whole play, and then if there's a change in possession, we trail the play. We don't get out ahead. And a lot of times what we'll do, and you'll see the lead here, this is actually me, and I'm not trying to pat myself on the back here, but fundamental positioning can help you in a situation like this. We see an attempted back screen with a lob that comes through. The ball gets deflected. It looks like white's going to be able to get possession. And a lot of times we as officials like to get up ahead of the play, and we end up staying here. Well, what ends up happening here is the black team does get possession again, and because of the position that I'm in lead, I'm able to see the illegal screen by 42 as he puts his arm up by the neck region of the player in white. So again, just to be clear, we want to stay home is really what this is all about. The ball gets knocked around. I start going. I read it correctly. You know, we can see our trail's getting ready to go. Center is in a good position. I'm actually on my front foot here, but realize that I need to go back. So I take a step back, but it allows me to see that foul play here. So as I go through my progression as the lead official here, I'm able to pick up, and I'm wide enough that I'm able to pick up that arm going up. That's an illegal screen because he's preventing the defender from getting to the kid going to shoot the layup right there. Okay, and then we have an offensive foul, and that's one that we want to sell. Okay, on this play here, again, I'm not trying to pat myself on the back. I just know my own clips. So, but this clip here, it's really important to make sure you get rough play potential. In this game, Oakton is really handing it to Potomac Falls, and you'll notice that black number 3 on this rebounding play is a little bit aggressive in coming in for the rebound. And it's a play that if we don't clean up, it just gets worse and worse and worse. And you know, a lot of times, you may be the only official that sees it. As you can see, when I report this, I'm getting some grief from the Potomac Falls coach. But it really, he didn't see it. He's just taking his kid's word at it. So as I forward through this, I want you to pay attention to black 3 as he comes in for this rebound, because if you don't catch this, it gets worse. All right, and we have communication with one-on-one. Obviously, Potomac Falls coach doesn't like the play, but he doesn't see it. And what I'm telling him there is it's almost intentional. And so if we go back to full speed on this, it'll give you a little bit more understanding of the speed of the play and how important it is to get this play called. All right, on this next play here, the key thing here we want to focus on is we can really focus on 2 positions here. First of all, as this play gets a drive to the basket, okay, remember, a drive to the basket, we don't want to be in closed down position. We want to be wider. So our lead should be wider here. Also, our trail, while stepping down towards the play is good, but if they were just a little bit wider, might have a better angle on this play. Blue 4 clearly fouls purple number 3. Our C ends up coming over and getting this play, in a crew saver potential type of call. Not necessarily against him getting this call. It's a long way to come. But if we were in better position, if we were in better fundamental position, we'd be able to see this foul call. And again, our C has to come over and get this. But if our lead was wider, if our trail was more sideline oriented, may have a better chance of getting that foul call. But the C comes over and gets it anyway. All right, on this one, again, this is about closing down when you don't need to. The pass is going to go inside to the post. The lead does a good job of getting wide, but then decides to move towards the play and shrink their angle. So as we go forward with this, see how he's now coming in? If he just stayed where he was, he'd have a much better opportunity, but he ends up closing his angle down when he doesn't necessarily need to. All right, and in this last clip, same official, same game. The difference here is, again, more refereed in a closed down position, and as the ball goes wide, it's going to be outside the three-point arc, okay? Our lead official is looking out here. Now, it's okay to take steps out, but we still have our matchup here. We need to referee this matchup. We have a trail official here. So what this shows me is that this is an official that's more focused on two-person mechanics and may not be aware that we have a trail official out here or just has a brain cramp. And so when the ball goes out wide and they end up having a little bit of a bump that the players can play through, there's no advantage or disadvantage on this play. This should just be a no call. But our lead official comes out with a foul call. Now, the lead official, again, is what we call this refereeing inside out. As the lead official, we want outside in. We want to be even with the ball if it's wide, out to the three-point arc. But really, you got a trail that can referee this play here. So we got to watch this matchup here. And instead, we have a foul call that's made, and it's really important for us to understand our positioning characteristics, because there's no reason to have that. Actually, he ends up calling a player control foul on this play, actually, now that I think about it. So, and if you look, we really shouldn't have, a player control foul in this kind of play. There's not enough contact to deem that to be a foul on either player. But hopefully these clips have made sense, help you understand a little bit more about lead positioning, refereeing on your back foot, keeping your angles. Don't referee in a closed down position. Don't close down on drives or shots, and make sure that you're refereeing outside in. And so that will do it for the end of this series, and I hope you've enjoyed it. I hope you have a great season.